Oi, oi, guys. It's actually Wednesday afternoon. I think it's afternoon. I think it's just gone 12, something like that. Anyway, might be 1. Anyway, got the old Scramble Joe on, the old shirt on. Thanks, brother, for the old, thanks for the merch, man. Go and check his channel out. I'm going to put it in the description below. It's got some good content with surfing. Comes from my wife's neck of the woods up there in New Jersey. And surfs along that Jersey line there. So go and check him out. This is from Joe, Scramble Joe, right here. Nice one. Anyway, I hope this video goes well because I just missed two corkers. I had a hawk flying above my head, squawking its ass off. I tried to video with it and I wasn't getting that. And then I had a bunch of like I don't know what you call them, like a little squadron in the Air Force, but there was like a load of these, what do you call them? I can't remember the name of them, but they got that long beak and they're white. What do you call them? Not stocks. I forget what you bloody call them. Herons, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, they just like went over the top, and I grabbed the camera, and I thought I was going to cop that and all, but I missed it, and then I got the back of them. So delete. Anyway, I hope this video goes okay, because I'm not having much luck with the old photography at the minute. But I had a comment on my YouTube. It was on my addictions one. If you go back, it's a few videos back. If you go and have a look at it, it's on Addiction and Judgment, I think it's called. Yeah, Addiction and Judgment. So go and check that out if you haven't. But I had a comment on there, and it was basically about where's the Cockney? You sound Australian. Don't know the person. But anyway, I thought I got some stories came to mind, because, you know, not far wrong. I mean, it's, you know, some people hear it, and when I'm talking on air, of course, I'm a little bit conscious of it. But I thought I probably in the beginning I was talking a lot clearer, so to speak, whatever that is. But you know, I try and just keep myself, and I talk the way I do. But when I get around people that all of a sudden I know they understand me from that neck of the woods, like Grub, it starts flowing a bit. It starts coming out. I don't know if the accent speeds up because I had to slow it down. And anyway, it's funny because when I'm here and I mention how some people back in England will say I sound American, and when I tell people that here, they absolutely laugh their ass off. And I get it. There is some things that I say that I never used to say in England that I say here, and it probably does sound American because that's what I'm programmed with. I never said it before, so I'm going to get programmed. And I've lived here for 29 years, so if I don't pick something up, there's a problem. But anyway, I had a couple of stories come to mind about with the accent, and it's kind of funny with the Australian one, because this one popped straight into my head. And I was it was a home show, I believe, and the guy that came up, I was standing there looking at something, and the guy came up to me, and he was Australian. And we just start talking. He's like, "Oh, you're London?" Yeah. We just start chatting, and I start telling them the story how a lot of people I've met have actually said, "You're Australian?" Americans. And I don't take no offence to none of that. I just laugh. And so I was telling this Australian guy at this home show, and I'm like, you know, and he looked at me and he goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Hey man, I don't know, you know, I just talk the way I talk, and he's like, "No way," you know, he's like, "Look, he's straight out of Australia, this guy." And So we finish our conversation. As he starts to walk away, an American fella, with the same company, turns around and he says, and now remember, the other guy I just talked to is just starting to walk away. The other guy turns around, can I help you? I went, no man, I just been helped. And straight away he says, Australian? And the Australian guy stops in his track, no word of a lie, stops in his tracks, looks over his shoulder right at me and goes, turns back and walks off. So there's that story. I've got out of a speeding ticket going up through the Carolinas. Was still driving on a British license, and I wasn't meant to be. and the British license at the time was like the Daily Telegraph newspaper, the Daily Telegraph. It was a big old newspaper in England or in Britain, I should say. And yeah, that's a whole different story. But I actually got out of a ticket by throwing the accent real strong. I was actually shitting myself, so it must have come out, because it doesn't. It's funny, when I get in big nervous situations, it seems to come out stronger. But yeah, I've got a few stories around it, and I love the ones that they stand there like. I had an old man once when I used to cut grass for a living, and I had this fella come walking up towards me, and I thought he was going to ask me a question. So I was aware of it, and I'm cutting this one grass, and he come walking up, and I used to wear like a green bandana and big ass boots, and right. And I get off the mower and I walk over to him, and he starts talking, saying, hey, he was asking for where the landfill was, because he had a bunch of yard waste, and he explains this whole thing, and I'm doing there, and he goes, do you know where? And I went, yeah mate, you got to and he just went, and he just stood there looking at me, and I went, all right. And he just turned around and walked. Yeah, I had another fella in a shop, and he was in a auto car parts shop, big fella. And I said to him, hey man, you know, can you tell me where, because I'm a bit of a numpty when it comes to cars. So I'm like, hey, which bulb do I need and all that. So we come walking around, and he starts like getting me the stuff, and he gives me it, and we go back up to the counter, and it's funny because when I had opened my mouth. When I opened my mouth, I don't know I think he must have caught on, because then he was like, where are you from? Like, where are you from, man? And I told him, and it opens up conversations. But do I have people say about the Australian? Hey, listen, I ain't actually from East End, by the way. Not the East End of London, I'm from South East. I'm like right across the River Thames from the East End, and North Woolwich and up. But I got nicknamed that by my mate, who's from Bermondsey, again South East London, and he basically said, you need something, Cockney Buddha, and it stuck. That was it, and I ran with it. But to tell you the truth, I was over in the East End. When I was back last, I think it was about 4 years ago now. It was just before, it was right on COVID. And I didn't even hear the accent. So they're saying that the accent is dying out now. There's a new lingo that's come in. I mean, even some of it I don't understand. With some of the, like my nephew's, you know, way younger than me, of course. And you know, some of the slang and that's going about, I've lost touch with it, you know, because it's changed, and but to be a true Cockney East Ender, you have to be born within a certain area of the town, and it's got to be within the Bow Bells, I think, which is the church there. And I heard the St Mary's Church bells. Is that good enough? But if someone came up to me and said, "Are you a true Cockney?" I'd be like, "No, I'm not a true Cockney." But you know, years and years ago, when I'd go over that side of London, over in the East End of London, fit right in. You know, I was able to communicate. Maybe some of the slang I wouldn't quite understand if they were really, really heavy with it. But I have that with myself too. I use a lot of slang. I use a lot of different ways of talking as far as the accent goes, and slang's one of them. And you know, sometimes I if I'm out, I slow it down a little bit. I remember one word I had to change, like pretty much straight away, was the word water, because I'd go into a restaurant and go water, and they wouldn't understand me at all. And several times they'd be bending forward, going and then my wife would have to speak up and go water. So I had to actually change that. So now I say water. It's easier. It saves, you know. I'm obviously not from here. So, but no, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because it made me chuckle, and it made me think about that story and that Aussie guy just looking at the looks at it all like, what? And when I remember coming back from London years ago, and my best mate here, I'm like, I think I sound American over there, and he absolutely pissed himself. Enough said. So yeah, I might sound a bit Australian. In fact, I knew a geezer from Canning Town and had that Australian-y kind of twang a bit about it. And he was from there. He was right from Canning Town. So, you know, he was, yeah. He had that little bit of I could hear it a little bit. So maybe people hear that. I mean, okay, I'm not worried. Doesn't change who I am. Stay the course, guys. Namaste.